Alright, everybody. I was sent a video, and like I said, I only have my phone and no Wi-Fi on my laptop, so I can't show you the video. So I took screenshots. I had mentioned this maybe like a month ago, maybe a little bit longer, that the stuff on the body in the freezer that looked like possible semen might have been surgical glue. I know there's a lot of accusations going around right now whether or not Kanika's alive, whether or not she's dead, whether or not this is a psyop, whether or not it's organ harvesting. I could go on and on, and I'm not canceling any of those out. I just want to show you this so that we can be on the same page that it's possible. This is basically a glue that can seal these wounds in 60 seconds. That's what it looks like after the incision. It's called Metro Glue, and it's an elastic surgical glue. It dissolves shortly after that. Now, I'm not too sure how long it takes to dissolve, but if this case got reopened and the body got dug up to be exhumed, I can guarantee you that those wounds, if her organs were taken, minus the incisions from the autopsy, that those would possibly be opened, because at this point, this glue would have dissolved. So basically, it's stating it's at an incredible speed that this glue could be used in emergencies, which I think is great, but not for organ harvesting. In place of stitches or staples. I'm not too sure what they use to stitch the body back up after an autopsy, but I'm pretty sure it's like really thick, not yarn, but really thick stitches. It reacts to ultra or UV light, forming bonds on the tissue's surface. Oops. It's I can't even, oh my god, you can read it. Sorry, I'm tired. It says it's for use on organs. What a coincidence. And it expands and contracts like the heart or the lungs. And it won't break or tear from movement, which, if that is her, well, obviously we know it's a body of someone in the freezer. As much as she was moved around, these wounds, if they used this surgical glue, wouldn't have broke back open. So it's great for internal injuries also. They tested it on rodents and pigs. So now it's going to be tested on humans. So if the higher power has access to this, who's to say it's not already being used in human trials or human underground bullshit? Now I want to go back, and I have stated this numerous times. I'm sure other people have talked about it also. I know Kate did at one point, or that we had a discussion. Now this is a picture of Kanika at the funeral. Her face looks totally bloated. If you look, I'm not sure. I mean, she had long hair, right? So why is her hair so short? Because it wasn't that short in the freezer. I'm sorry, it doesn't look like her. And I'm gonna stick to my point. This is Tiara Richardson. Now I'm gonna go back. If you look at the facial features, I know up here she has a little gash on her head, and this chick looks terrified. Like, not only, regardless if she was on LSD or whatever it was they said she was on when she was driving the car, she looks like, where the hell am I and what the fuck is going on? I actually have a picture of them side by side. I'm gonna turn my phone for you. I mean, and then just her hair. I mean, it's like almost the exact length. Now, I'm not saying they didn't cut her hair to make it look different because it was all messed up from being in the freezer, but you can't tell me, even if they did cut her hair, that they didn't see where her hair was pulled out, or they didn't see all these things being said that we're finding in all this evidence online. I still don't even know if this chick's actually in jail. I mean, it says she's in jail, but it also says AWOL. Which would mean she took off, but if right here it looks like she's in a hospital bed, so how did she take off? What we really need to do is somebody that lives in Chicago needs to go to this jail and try to visit her to get, to find out if she's actually there. Because from what I'm hearing, Jaylene Ford got bonded out for $50,000 the next morning. So somebody was obviously protecting him or her. As far as this chick goes, we haven't really heard anything. Does she not have parents? Or is this another statistic where the parents just don't give a shit? But I'm not saying that the body doesn't turn a darker color after the autopsy and after however they do what they do with the formaldehyde and all that kind of stuff, but I mean, she doesn't even look this dark here. Tiara doesn't. So that would make sense that she would turn this dark. But if you look at the freezer picture, which I'm going to show you next, we still don't know where Shanika Watkins is. Did she ever go back to her job at Walmart? That's another weird thing that I've noticed. Why do all these people work at Walmart? I know Walmart's probably like probably the top 1 in 10 places for child trafficking. But, their skin complexions are closer than Tiara and the girl in the casket. Plus, like Kate had said earlier, she kind of has more of a bang. I don't believe that Kanika did. And like Kate had stated before, the tattoo on Kanika's stomach, which said Nika, well, this is Shanika, right? So she could have possibly had a nickname also. So there's another thing we need to find out, because I know Watkins hasn't been arrested since August 2017. So maybe she is hiding, but I don't know. My gut's telling me that she's not. And I really wish that we could find out if she was really hiding or if she was one of these victims. I mean, I'm not saying that that doesn't look like Kenneka, but they had 21 hours to perfect this crime scene. And I'm sticking to my sources that this possibly could not be Kenneka. Along with everything else that's going on. With this being a psyop or a psychological experiment, involving possible organ trafficking. A long time ago, I think it was like October 12th, when I had posted the organ removal instrument that was left in the kitchen when I went to the funeral home to have them specify to me that that's what that was. I actually have one of my friends going to a life bank to try to get an in-person picture of this instrument, so that she can send it to me, because I'm not driving 2 hours, and we can get a better idea that that's what that is. Even though I have the patent of it next to the picture somewhere on my Facebook, or possibly in one of these videos. I can throw it in there tomorrow so we see it. I was kind of trying to wait until she goes to the actual facility to get me this picture. But I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced that that's Kenneka. And I'm also not convinced that if she died, that that's her in the freezer. And I can promise you that that's not the only person that died that night. So what do you guys think? Leave some comments for me. We can pick this back up tomorrow. I'm still trying to go through all these photos to get all my emails together to show you not necessarily the person that sent them to me, because I'm pretty sure that they're a troll, but how would somebody know this much information that I'm going to share with you, as far as the Caddyshack restaurants, going into the Crowne Plaza hotels, what these restaurants are going to be used for, other weird things like cloning machines, and who's funding this operation of organ harvesting. Some random person is not going to know this shit, because we just spent 4 months trying to pick it apart. And why would this person be telling me that? I couldn't come up with that on a year of research. And this story, it makes sense. So I don't know if they're playing the blaming game and they're trying to blame the government or blame this or that on having to do with this situation. But I can guarantee you that this hotel is shady and corrupt as shit. Especially with everything we've seen. And I don't understand, if they were just going to kill her and this was all about a gang, they would have just left her dead next to a trash can in an alley. They wouldn't have propped her body. They wouldn't have done all the things that they're doing. They wouldn't have messed with the footage. They wouldn't have sent us on this wild goose chase. Or a rabbit hole, as everybody wants to say. And maybe it is a psychological experiment. Maybe not. Maybe we weren't supposed to find out that she was dead. But somebody leaked something and somebody screwed up, and that's why we're where we're at. Another point I want to make is, why is all this evidence so open to the public? you know how many cases you see on the news, even though majority of the news is just fabricated bullshit? But in what other case could we get this much information and pictures and all this stuff off of a police website? You don't. You might be able to see like the inmates' pictures and like the charges, but they're not going to give you files and all this other stuff. They're just not. I've looked at my town, I've looked at other towns, I've had other people in other countries look, I've had, you know what I mean? It's not going to happen. So I want to know what you guys think, and I'll be back with you tomorrow, considering I'm off work. I'm going to go through these 5,000 photos, and I'm going to find all these emails, and we're going to research into not only who sent them to me, how to find out who sent them to me. When I had someone search the phone number, it was based out of Virginia. But we're going to try to figure out who it is and how they know the information that they gave me. So I will catch up with you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.